So we are looking at the journey of work performance data, which is very important during the PMP exam. Work performance data comes as an input to many processes as well as it becomes an output to many processes. So it is very important to identify where this be created and how this work performance data is used. This data track how many negatives versus positive customer comments the project gets and how well the project is doing at meeting its cost estimates. In fact, a project manager should figure out a way to use the work performance data that is generated from each knowledge area during the direct and manage processes to understand how well the processes are being performed. So basically this data is in very raw format and created during the execution process group, specifically in direct and manage project work process. So this data is more in raw format such as budget at completion, earn value, the schedule variance, cost variance. So all are in numbers. You need to make them more usable format. So you use this work performance data as an input to almost all the monitor and control processes. So key thing to remember is all the monitor and control processes use work performance data as an input. So you have covered almost a quarter of inputs and outputs during this particular video. So validate scope, control schedule, control cost, control quality, control resources, monitor communication, monitor risk, control procurements, monitor stakeholder engagement. All these monitor and control processes use work performance data as an input, and now these processes convert this data into more manageable component. So no longer we are dealing with the work performance data. Now we have a new output out of these processes, that is work performance information. And now this work performance information becomes the key input to monitor and control process. The monitor and control project work use this work performance information as an input, and now it converts into more manageable, more readable format, which is work performance reports. So we were in work performance data and we converted them into work performance information. Now we are dealing with work performance reports. It becomes a key input to manage team, monitor risk. More specifically, these reports goes to manage communications. So manage communications, the key input is work performance reports, and during this process these reports have been converted into project communications. You can't forget these reports are being used in another process, which is integrated change control. The change control process uses reports to analyze the change requests that they are getting, and they use this as an input. So the decisions being communicated back to project communications, the approved or rejected change request are being communicated back to project communications. And now these communications need to be communicated to the relevant parties, namely project team and project stakeholders. The relevant stakeholders get the project communications. So this is the process of work performance data, and becomes work performance information, and then work performance reports converted into project communications and end up with project team and project stakeholders. In the next video we'll be discussing about change control, which is very important project flow to remember, which will cover more than 10 to 15 questions during the PMP exam. So see you guys in the next video.